How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2 and welcome back to Salem. Things are going pretty well here. They could be going better, but you know, they're also going pretty well. We're getting a decent number of tools into Salem. We're getting a nice amount of bricks in here. I would like to get more food and machines and goods and fuel, but we're getting there. We're aiming for 2,400 people, almost 2,500 people in Salem, which is great. I want to keep this place growing, but I want to get away from cargo for a little bit, at least for today, because I feel like we've been messing around with it quite a lot. Now, admittedly, it's probably fair enough that we've been messing around with it a lot, because at the end of the day, we did just double the production of absolutely everything. So it sort of makes sense that we're messing around with cargo a little bit. I'm also noticing that we might want to improve the deliveries out of all of these places with regards to machines, but I said we're not doing cargo, so we're going to not look at that right now. What I would like to do is I would like to get an airport. I want to get a big old airport out here, and I want to connect it up to Miami, down to Kansas City, and out to a couple of random towns here and there, just to improve the connections that Salem has to the rest of the region, and so that we can have some towns that we can work on elsewhere as well. So what I'm going to start with actually is getting myself a passenger train station, because we want to have some trains able to stop out here. High speed, 2 tracks, long platform. And we're going to sort of spin this guy around, and it's going to be this way. So let's see if I can get you to line up nicely, which we sort of can. It's not going to be perfect, but honestly, it'll be fine. We'll go for something kind of like, I'm going to say something like this is what we're going to go for. And then in terms of tracks, well, actually I say that maybe I should just knock out a section of track here and have this be another stop along that line. That might not be a terrible idea. I think that's actually exactly what we're going to do. So we'll just take out sort of all of this up to about there, and we'll do the same on this side. Take out all of this part. Bulldoze you. We're not going to have this guy sort of perfectly aligned, but it's going to be about as good as I can get it to be, I think. I can sort of rotate it that way, which is, again, about as good as I think it's going to be. So we'll go for right about there. We'll get ourselves some tracks, high speed. We want to run from here to there. We want to have parallel tracks. And we want to run from here to there. And I don't love that it sort of weaves across like that, but it's totally fine. It's not the end of the world. What I would like to do, though, is go in here and have a look at the Salem to Montgomery line, because now what we can do is after Salem West, we can have you stop at Salem Transfer. And then after Oklahoma City on the way back, you can also go to Salem Transfer. So that way we do have trains kind of coming through there, and that should be totally fine. And I guess we could also bring the other trains up here, but I think we're going to pass for the time being, because I really just want to focus. I can actually let the game run again while I'm doing this. I really just want to focus on getting my airport in here. So let's see if I can get a nice little road across the front of this. I absolutely can. I think what I might do actually is get the flatten tool and spend a whole bunch of money just flattening this entire chunk of terrain to be as perfect as we can get it to be for this this airport thing. Now, admittedly, it doesn't look like it's too bad, but we'll just go through here and tidy it up as much as we can. There are some dips in it right there in the middle, so that's probably for the best that we're doing this. We don't need to. We absolutely don't need to, but I think just this will it'll help define the area. That's kind of what I'm going for. We're going to define the area, if I have to sound pretentious, which apparently I just can't help myself sometimes and have to. So we'll go for like that. We'll get ourselves the road now from here to about there. Should be absolutely fine. We'll go ahead and confirm it. Does it have a bump in the middle? It's no, I think that's level, which is what we're looking for. And then on the other side of that road, basically, is where I want to build myself an actual airport, which is considerably larger than I thought it was going to be. Okay, I might need to extend this road a little bit to about there, and then get this guy in here. So we'll swing it around. It is going to have some cargo capacity as well, which is totally fine. So it can live, I'm going to say, right about there should be fine. And then what we can do, so, oh, it doesn't have cargo capacity right now. Okay. So it does have this. This is our hangar. I'd kind of like to put it right down here. So right down at the bottom of everything's where the hangar can go. I want to bulldoze the existing hangar. And what have we got? We got main buildings, which has street access, provides capacity for 100 cargo items and 200 passengers. A passenger terminal provides capacity for another 100 passengers. So let's do another main building, because I think that's going to look interesting. I think that looks kind of cool, actually. And then we could maybe do some cargo terminals kind of down this way, a little bit of a ways away from the main building. We can do this as well. Actually, maybe we want to have, maybe we don't want to have that in there. Actually, no, because that is going to give us two. Oh, hold on a minute. That's two passenger terminals. Maybe what we do instead is we get rid of you and get rid of you. We'll do the two passenger terminals kind of in the middle. We'll do another main building right about here. And then we'll have our cargo right here. That should be fine. That looks decent. We'll also get the approach lights, which can go over on this side of things. And I think eventually you can build another runway on this. I just don't think we can do it right now, which is totally fine. So that's going to be our airport. That's Salem Airport right there. We'll bring a road connection sort of down this way. And I'm wondering if we just connect it straight through to there. I feel like we can. I feel like we have some pretty solid connections we can make. So we'll smooth this out a little bit, just like so. And we'll smooth this side out as well, just like so. We'll also smooth around these edges since I did flatten a lot more land than I actually ended up needing. And then I guess we'll just run you straight through to there. We can take out these parts and then rerun that road, and it should be a little bit smoother. So something like that. And then on this side, it is exactly the same story. We can bring this road sort of straight across. We'll take out these parts. We will run that back through, and we can now smooth this out. And that seems decent. We could run this road straight through as well, but I think if anything, I'm going to bring that road back, and that's going to be sort of how we do things. I don't love that this isn't quite central in front of the terminal, but honestly, well, I could move it. I could shuffle the train along a little bit, but I don't think I need to. I think this is fine. So that's going to be Salem Airport. It is obviously a ways away from Salem itself, but that's fine. We have some connections out to it. And what I can do is I could add some bus and tram stops to it as well, which seems like a good idea. I feel like we're going to want ways for people to get out here. So we'll do a little bus stop right there. Let me have a look at, where is it? Road passengers, Salem loop number 2. Is this loop number 2? This is loop number 1. So loop number 1 goes that way. It then comes around to Locust Street, which is a really interestingly named street. Can I do some more stops? So give me a stop right there. We then go out to there. We can bring this back down. That's not a crazy busy street, which is fine. It comes across this way, so we'll come down that way. And now let's try and change this. So manage that line. We want to go, let's see. So Salem loop 1. Is it? Hold on. Am I looping this around right? That's loop number 2. Manage line, loop number 1. Okay. Let me, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Manage line. I don't like that. I just want to see this one. I only want to see Salem loop 1. It's really confusing otherwise. Take out Locust Street. I guess we've got auto saving going on as well, which is making it even more difficult. That's fine. So Locust Street goes. So after Chestnut Street, go to there, and then go out to the airport, and then go to here, and then go to there. And that should be fine. So that gives us a better loop. People can now get out to the airport by bus. They can get out there by train. That's good. There's nowhere to go from the airport right now, but we're about to fix that. And we do that very simply by adding an airport to Miami and another one over to Miramar. Not only have I added the airports though, I've also got some bus lines going around both Miami and Miramar. So we can start getting passengers around here. We can start getting passengers around Miami. We can get them to the airports, down to Salem, onto our train lines, and to wherever else they want to go. So what I'm going to do is get myself some trains. And we have planes. We're getting some planes, not trains. And I really want this one. The Douglas DC-4. I mean, the DC-3. I'm really disappointed that we haven't had an opportunity to use the DC-3, because the Douglas DC-3 might be my favorite plane. I'm not gonna lie. It's the chrome. It's the chrome finish that gets me every single time. I absolutely love it. So I'm kind of thinking we go for the DC3. I mean, the DC4 has 5 more people and it's a bit faster, but it just doesn't look as good, you know? I mean, it'll go for another 5 years on top of that one. The Super Constellation, I think we do the DC3. I think we're doing the DC3. We're doing it in red because it's going on the Salem to Miami line. And you know what? We can probably go and grab the other one as well. Can I grab the other one actually? So if I was to grab 2 more of these and make them red and put them on the Salem to Miramar line, they can head out. So I think that's fine. And I mean, just look at them. It's such a beautiful looking plane. It really is. It's such a beautiful looking plane. I'm so happy that we've got that. We've also got some people wanting to move around Miami, which is great news. Hopefully we'll see some expansion from Miami at some point as well. A worrying number of these guys just sat around these days. I don't love that. How is this guy doing? This guy's, I mean, it's producing. It could actually use more planks, which is wild. I wasn't expecting it to need more planks, but apparently it does. Having a look up this way. This guy is definitely producing, which is fair enough. It's how are you doing? So you're producing your transportation, your consumers. Are we not moving enough of this? Yeah, I don't want to put more trains on that line though. I think that's silly. I think it'd be silly to put more trains on that line. Let me manage the vehicles. Let me go for, I'm pretty sure I could put like, I don't know. Do I want to just replace the trains? It might not be a bad idea. How long is one? So 278 meters. I don't know if these guys are using the new or the old flat cars though. That's the problem. I want to say they're using the new ones just based on the icon. So, I mean, what if I was to add one more flat car? That brings it to 312 meters. I want to be 295. So what about one more flat car? That might be the way to do this, actually, is just go down the line and add another flat car to each of these trains. Although looking at the numbers, it didn't really push us to where I wanted it to push us to, unfortunately, which is fair enough. I kind of expected that would be the case. Let's get these guys painted. Not that color. Definitely not that color. What about this color? Yeah, I think that's the one that it was. So yeah, 1095. I mean, that's better. It's definitely better. We could be doing better, but I'm kind of going to allow that. And I guess at this point, I'm kind of curious to see how things go for Salem. Now that we have the ability to sort of move people around by plane. I mean, we've got 2 people wanting to go to Miami. That's interesting, I guess. We've got a couple of people waiting here to head out, which is kind of interesting as well. Wasn't expecting this train station to be all that busy, but apparently it sort of is, which is, I mean, fair enough. Is anyone getting off of a train here? So you guys are, okay, so no one got off there and no one got off there. Okay. So no one wants to go anywhere right now. That's fine. At the very least, we have a plane that just got here and I'm very, oh, look at you. Look at you. It's such a good looking plane. I wish we still had chrome plated planes. I know it's not, I don't know if it is chrome. It's probably not. I'm pretty sure, but I wish planes still looked like that, man. Some of them still look great, but nothing compares to the DC3. So I think with the planes now going around, we might want to have a look at cargo. And I don't want to do anything too crazy, but I think we need to get food for Miami. I think we should get some food for Miramar. And we could probably get some from McAllen while we're here, since it's kind of in, you know, the way. So my thinking's going to be pretty simple. We have a farm down here. This thing can eventually produce a whole bunch of stuff. So we could use this farm to create alcohol. We could take that alcohol and turn it into food all the way over in Augusta. Or we could try and take it somewhere else and turn it into food elsewhere, but it doesn't really look like we have all that many choices, which is a little bit unfortunate. But it's not the end of the world. We can absolutely make it work. Although in saying that, we do have food production down here that's basically doing nothing. And then we have a farm here that is producing basically nothing. This guy basically needs to be better. Let me have a look at you real quick, because I'm pretty sure I can make this better. If I manage this vehicle, if I go to replace you, so you have 16, it looks like gondolas and 16 boxcars. I'm pretty sure we're using the old ones with you. So let me get a multi-unit locomotive. Let me go for you. And then for cargo, we'll stick with 16. So we'll do 16 gondolas. We'll go for, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of those. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of those. Quite expensive. Quite expensive is this little upgrade here, but we're going to do it because I feel like it's worth it. And then we'll get this guy to be a nice red train. That might be, that's a bit too red. That's a bit too red. We'll go for something a bit darker right there. And we'll see how that plays out. That's definitely brought the, it's brought the rate up a little bit. Not by much though, which is kind of surprising. Whereabouts is this? The train's here right now. It is waiting to load up. Oh, it's because it's that kind of line. Okay. We might want to just rebuild a lot of these lines. I'll be honest. Anyway, I'm not going to focus too much on that. I think this is going to be my opportunity to focus on a new line, a new cargo line with this leveling up thing for industries and factories enabled. So very simply, we will just start down here. I'm going to take out this road because I can make this a little bit better. And we're going to start by replacing this guy with a nice proper country road. We're going to bring this sort of straight through. Not that I need to do this, but I'm going to do this. And then what I want to do is potentially avoid going through McAllen because I feel like that's not the best way to do this. So I think what we can do is bring a road straight up here. So straight off of there, we're going to go straight across that train track, straight into that other road. And that's how we're going to get around McAllen. And that seems like a good way to go. That seems like the right thing to do. I'm also going to bring this road back a little bit because I think I can make it look better. So we'll come out of here, something like that. And we can curve this around so it connects a little bit nicer. And I'm okay with that. I think that's fine. So this is how we're going to be getting our grain from here going up to this guy. I might actually go ahead and take this connection out completely because I've realized that what I could do here is push this road straight through. We want it to go in a nice sort of straight line there. And that looks pretty solid. We could then sort of bring this road over to meet it or just sort of bring them together as best we can. And I think that's kind of exactly what we're going to do. So to about there, we will curve you around. That's good. We'll upgrade this guy. That's also good. And that's basically going to be our straight shot from grain to alcohol. And then in terms of getting it up to or over to Augusta, I could use a train. Oh, I don't know if I want to use a train though. I don't know if I want to use a train, man. I don't know if that's a good idea. It might not be. It really might not be. I'm also kind of thinking that we want to get more logs into this place at some point, but we'll worry about that a little bit later on. That's not a priority right now. Do I want to use a train? I mean, a train would make sense. It's not that far though, reasonably, you know, it's really not. So maybe we don't do that. Maybe what we do is we try and get ourselves a little road. I mean, it's pretty much a straight shot across there. I think we go for a road. I think we're going to build ourselves a road here. So here's a question. Can I have parallel like highways? Is that a thing? So if I build this, can I get a road like right next to it that snaps? No, that's really unfortunate. It'd be really cool if I could. I might need to look and see if there's a mod for parallel roads, but we'll use, oh, these highways aren't even that fast. Yeah, we'll use a large country road here, I guess, is what we're going to do. This might not be one, but this is definitely going to be one. So this is just going to run in a straight line, and I'm going to hope for the best here. I'm basically building an interstate is kind of what I'm doing, I think. I have no idea how the interstate system works in the United States. I've been on like one. I really I have no idea. So I'm going to assume that this is what that is. I also probably shouldn't have got rid of all of that. I want to have that be a nice little slope right there. Have this be a nice little slope right about there. And that seems good. So that runs in a nice straight line from Miramar. It can kind of keep going, which is great. And I'm going to just stretch this way out and see what it does, because it's probably going to start giving me tunnels and bridges. It is absolutely doing that, which is fine. So it is going to need to go to the far side of Augusta, which I'm fine with. So we'll go ahead and build this. We'll go ahead and punch straight through here as well, which is going to be another big old tunnel, which I'm completely fine with. This might be a terrible idea. Just to be clear, this really might not be the best way of doing that. I mean, a train, I've been doing nothing but complaining about how, you know, how busy all my roads are. And I'm really only about to make it worse here, but it's fine. I can also just sort of let things run. I don't know why I had it paused. I need to stop pausing every time I do things. It's going to be a real problem. Now, I think what we'll do here is sort of bring this road out. And can I just curve this around in a way that's, I don't like that. No. I do not. I do not like that. Let's bring you out a little bit further to about there and then curve it around. That's a bit better. I could make it much more efficient. It doesn't need to curve around at all, but I'm just going to go with the curve. Oh, I've just realized that there's going to be a problem with this. This is going to be a pain. I was going to take the alcohol to Augusta and bring food back, but we can do that. We also can't. So for every 2 grain, we get 1 alcohol. So we could have, say, 600 units coming over here every year. And that's going to turn into 300 alcohol eventually. It needs to level up, but that's the idea. We then take that 300 alcohol, we turn it into food up here. That turns into 600 food. So we don't have the capacity. I mean, I guess we could deliver it out to San Antonio, and I guess we can deliver it down to Thousand Oaks. So it's not like it's the end of the world. It's not catastrophic, right? We can still very much make this work. My math was, I was sitting here building this road and I was thinking to myself, it's going to be so good. And then I realized, sort of, it's still going to be good. I'm just going to need to start making some deliveries to some of these other towns, which I wasn't planning on doing. I wasn't there yet, but you know what? It's fine. We can absolutely make it work. We'll build some sort of new sections of road right here. We'll start connecting all these guys together as best we possibly can. And it's all going to be fine. So this guy is going to connect up to Augusta right there. We can bring this road sort of straight through. We're just basically doing a lot of infrastructure, which I'm sort of here for. This is kind of genuinely one of my favorite parts of this game, is building new infrastructure and hoping that it eventually works. So we'll do something like this. We'll curve these guys around so they meet quite nicely. And that's a pretty straight shot down to Thousand Oaks from Augusta. San Antonio is going to be kind of a similar story. I think if anything, we could come out of here and sort of connect around and avoid this sort of backcountry road if we wanted to, which I'm not against doing, but we don't need to right now. So that's fine. We also have farms up here that we can use as well. We have farms down in Thousand Oaks. So, well, actually, no, I realized we can't do that because we need to turn it into alcohol. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. We have farms down here as well, so we can kind of use all of them. We also have a little bridge down here, which is lovely. So I guess at this point, let's start to get things working. Let's get ourselves a truck station. This guy can eventually ship out, I'm assuming, 600 grain. So let's just do 4 platforms on the whole thing, and we'll put it in here and see how that plays out. In fact, we could probably put it over here, so it's a little bit further away, a little bit less distance for the trucks to have to travel, which is probably for the best. We'll put this guy right about there, and we'll smooth out some of the terrain because it's a little bit nasty looking. So that'll be fine. We can do some trucks from here going up to this guy, and I think I might do what I did with the Miami production lines. I think I'm going to have one stop here for all of the trucks coming in with the grain, and then another stop elsewhere for the alcohol going out. So we'll do We'll do right about here, I think, for the trucks coming in, and then the trucks going out can be over on this side, and that'll be perfectly fine. So we'll go for basically right about there should be all right. So we'll go for there. So this is going to be one line. This guy is now going to have to go from here all the way across to Augusta. And I might do one station for Augusta. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea. So we'll have the drop off. It'll pick up some of the food. It'll bring it back to Miramar. And then it can go pick up more alcohol. I think that's kind of how we'll do that one. And then some of it can be delivered down to Thousand Oaks. Some of it can be delivered to San Antonio. I think we can get away with one. We'll maybe do 6 platforms in this thing in total. And I'm kind of hoping I can get it down here. Is that going to be... No. I can get it probably in this corner somewhere. Yeah, sort of. I don't know that I like that though. So we'll just put it on the straight section of road over here, and that should be perfectly fine. And so just like that, we have all of the lines set up. We have grain coming out of here, turning into alcohol here. We have all of the alcohol being picked up and taken all the way up to Augusta, and then food being brought back. And then we have some food being taken down to Thousand Oaks and over to San Antonio as well. I do, admittedly, need to set these lines up to work properly. So right here, we want you to load up on food. And then the same story with this guy as well. You are going to be loading up on food. Everything else is good to go. So at this point, what I think I'm going to try and do is start from the beginning and kind of work from there. So we're going to look at this line. And we are going to look at the production here. 300. That's fine. Let's get ourselves some vehicles and see what we can do. We also have some... Did I never put these buses on the Miramar passenger line? Guess I didn't. I mean, they're there now, which is fair enough. That might explain a lot of things about Miramar, but okay. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to be moving grain for this this first set of trucks. So basically the dump truck is what we'll go for. We'll start with 5 of them. We will paint them in this color right here. And it's going to be road cargo. It's Miramar. It is grain to alcohol. And that gives us 198. So if I go and I say I want 2 more of those guys, that brings us up to 278. You know what? Give me 3 more of them, because this farm is probably going to level up pretty quickly. And that'll be absolutely fantastic. So looking at this guy, this alcohol distillery wants 200 right now. We are shipping 200. We can ship up to 400. That's fine. That's what we're looking for. That is a solid enough start. So that's good. So with 200 grain coming in, that's going to be 400 alcohol going out eventually. I mean, it's producing 100 right now because, oh wait, no, it's the other way around. 200 come in as 100 going out. Oh, we're going to have to level this a lot. Okay. That's fine. That's totally fine. Let me pin you, and let's get the rate on this guy to be 100 for now. So you're moving alcohol and you're bringing food back. I can use this guy. I can do both alcohol and food. That's fantastic. Give me 10 of these guys, get them in that color, and that can go on the Miramar alcohol to food to delivery line. That gives us 60. It is a very long line. Admittedly, I was hoping it would be better than that, but we'll do another 5 on that line, and that should be enough to bring us up to 91. Give me another 5. That'll be 20. That'll bring us to roughly 120 on the rate, which is perfectly fine. So that's going to take a while to get going. It is going to take some time, but it's okay. Looking down this way, this will eventually get going as well. We're going to have a lot of grain sort of waiting around for us, but that's fine. We will eventually we'll get this thing going the way we want it to go. I'm also sort of thinking it might not be a terrible idea to just upgrade this road that goes through the middle of Miramar before it gets terrible. I don't know that we're ever going to need an extra large street, but I definitely think a large street through the middle here would be a really solid investment. So at least up to there. This could be upgraded. I don't know if this needs to be upgraded, but it could be. I think I'm going to tidy this up. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this look better than it does right now. All right, so it seems like the interstate is working quite nicely. We have a good number of trucks heading up to Augusta. Not many of them have alcohol on board, which is unfortunate, but we do have a good number of them heading out. We do have a decent amount of alcohol sitting down here. So what we could do is just get ourselves maybe a few of these guys just to make sure that we don't, you know, start wasting alcohol. That would kind of be the last thing I want to do. So we'll just drop those around there. We'll put a couple of the small ones on either side as well, just to make sure that we have that extra storage space, because this is about to fill up, because we are being pretty regular with the grain deliveries. So we'll keep those going. We'll keep that good. Everything should be fine. We also have a lot of people wanting to fly down to Salem. I wasn't expecting this. I'm going to be honest. I was not expecting that many people to want to go to Salem, but yeah, I think our destination connections, it's doing a lot. It's given us a lot of growth out of Miramar. We're aiming for over 1,000 people. We're going to be more than doubling the population here just on the connections alone. So once we start bringing food in here, that's going to be kind of a big deal. But what that says to me is that unfortunately, I might have to get rid of my DC-3s. I think we kind of need to go for the DC-4 or the Super Constellation. I mean, the Super Constellation is 80 miles per hour faster as well. I don't love it. It's not as good. It's not as good looking, man. It's not as cool. It's not as good looking. Anyway, we're gonna swap it out. It can carry more people. We can go ahead and I don't know if we need to double. I don't think we need to double the number of planes on this line, but we'll go and get another one. We'll get a third one for the Miramar line at the very least, and we'll see if that works out. And I guess we should take a look at Miami as well. Oh, it's even worse. It's even worse. Okay. All right, we're gonna have to swap out for the Super Constellation. We're gonna double the number of vehicles on that line, and we're gonna see if that helps us out at all. It just doesn't look as good. It looks dumb. Such a stupid looking plane. I don't care what anyone says. It's stupid looking. I mean, I'm sure people love it. I'm sure there's people that love the look of that plane, and I'm so sorry. Like, that sounded like such an offhand. That sounded like such a backhanded apology. I didn't mean it like that. What I mean is that I'm sorry that I'm being mean to it. It's just not for me. It's not a plane that I love. I've never seen a DC-3 in real life ever. There's something about it, like the chrome plane, and there was that one chrome train that we had as well. It just looks so good. It really does. I absolutely adore it. How is the airport looking down in Salem? That's my real question right now. I'm gonna fly down here slowly because there's so many people waiting at those train stations. There's a lot of people waiting here as well. That's surprising. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting Miami Airport to be as busy as it is, but that's cool. Miami's also growing quite nicely. It's not doing as well in connections as Miramar, but it's doing. Although I have to wonder if part of the reason Miramar is doing well is because of this like interstate thing that I've built here. So if we were to maybe change out some roads and get a better connection from Miami to McAllen, that might not be a terrible idea. I don't love the idea of poor little McAllen becoming sort of a town that everyone just drives through, but it kind of, I mean, it's a town that a train just runs right through the middle of right now. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this town needs some growth. I feel like we need to be nice to make, we bulldozed so much of this land to get some trains through there. I feel like we owe it to them to try and make that right somehow, but there's nowhere, is there anywhere nearby I can just make food? I don't want the alcohol. I just want the food. It doesn't look like it. Oh, down here. Do I want to set this up so we're bringing food from Alexandria up to McAllen? Do I really want to do that? It's a 2-to-1 on food. No, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Maybe we just wait for this line to be doing better. And then when it's doing better, we can go ahead and start bringing food from Augusta down to McAllen. I think that's the way we go. We actually have some angles we can go for that as well. We have these roads coming out of Thousand Oaks. So what if we were to, let's change this up a little bit. I paused the game again. I don't need to do that. I'm going to try and change things up ever so slightly and try and get some better roads through here. So what is this? That is a quarry. Wait a minute. That's a quarry right next to this guy. Oh yeah, that would need, what we need to do is that marble. Yeah, we need marble for this as well. Never mind. Okay. Well, Do I want to keep the quarry? I don't really know that I care. I don't really know that it matters. This guy's about to disappear, which is fine. I'm not going to be using it. I'm just going to be stealing the road that's in front of it. So we'll run this to here. I'm going to run this guy sort of straight back that way. And it looks like I can get a decent connection to Thousand Oaks. Do I want to go over the hill or through a tunnel? It's going to be a tunnel. So we'll do something like this. I might upgrade this road as well, to be completely honest. That might not be a terrible idea, but can I do I want to do that? I think I'm going to do that. It's a bit expensive, but we can afford it. We've got more money than I know what to do with right now, so that's perfectly fine. That'll be our connection from Thousand Oaks down to, well, pretty much down to McAllen. I think we should probably tidy up this road in general because it is a little bit nasty, and in fairness, it's run into something that we're not going to be using, so that's completely fine. Ooh, we just got a new bus. We also got, okay, we're getting some new planes as well. I'm actually kind of excited about this. I might be able to get rid of that really ugly plane. Again, I'm so sorry. I'm sure people love it, but it's just not for me. And despite my best efforts to not have McAllen be a town that people just drive through, that is now exactly what it is, because I decided to build another interstate thing from Miami to McAllen that continues to Miramar and beyond. The reason I did this is because essentially it might give Miami a couple more destinations. At the very least, the road is a fair bit straighter and faster than what the other ones were going to be. And if I wanted to, I could now have buses that run from Miami to McAllen and to Miramar and beyond, which I'm not against doing. I don't think we need to do it. And I think trains would be a better choice, but it is now an option, and that's what I'm interested in. I would like to have a look at this though. I want to see, so we just got a new plane. We got this guy, and it's not a passenger plane, which is really unfortunate because I was hoping it was, because it looks better. It looks better than what we have, but you know what? That's fine. We've got people moving around by plane at the very least. We have some money coming in from the planes, which is great as well. We have a lot of people down here. We have a lot of alcohol waiting to head out here, which has me slightly worried. I don't love that. This guy needs much higher transport at the moment, which is worrying to say the least, because it's really not doing all that well. This guy is producing a little bit. It'll be producing a little bit for a little while until all the trucks get up there, but eventually we will. Why are they stuck in traffic? What is going on here? Okay, this has all taken so much longer than I thought it was going to, but we do now have a truck with 16 alcohol on board coming into the Augusta food processing plant. We have other trucks on the way that have 16 barrels of alcohol as well. So we should, in theory, be about to see these guys doing what I want them to do. We should start to see production ramp up a little bit. We should start to see food heading out to different locations. We have different consumers that want all of that food. So hopefully this is going to work. Hopefully this is going to do what I want it to do. This guy's going to drop off right about there. We've got you now hopefully doing your thing. There we go. So San Antonio and Thousand Oaks both want a little bit. Miramar wants a little bit as well. So that's all getting loaded out into the places that I want it to get loaded out into. That's perfect. So production has started. This will hopefully ramp up a little bit. We have, like I said, got plenty more trucks well on the way. These guys are all full. This guy as well. These guys too. Most of them anyway are going to be completely full of alcohol. This bit down here is a little bit empty now, but that does mean that transport's starting to ramp up. And as that continues to increase, this alcohol distillery will eventually go ahead and level up, which means that this guy, once shipment increases, will level up as well, and we'll have just more of everything across the board, and that's what we're looking for. Now, like I said before, it would make sense to do this by train, but I really like the idea of this interstate thing, and eventually we're going to have bigger trucks, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens. Looking down to Miami, it's not really growing all that much, which is unfortunate. I was hoping that the road connection would do a little something for it, but apparently it's just not really doing anything at all. This guy over here is actually doing all right. We can go to 1600. Has it always been 1600, or is that a recent thing that's leveled up? I want to say that that's a recent thing where that's leveled up. That's a lot. that's a lot of things to be moving there. If we look at our consumers, oh, it's because the construction thing leveled up. Okay. So both of those are at 100%, which is great. Our suppliers are maxed out as well. If anything, we probably want to reactivate these other lines, but we'll save that for another time because we're getting to the point where I'm going to say that we're done for today because, again, this is all going on a little bit longer than I planned it to. But at the very least, looking at this, it shouldn't be too long until this guy actually does get an opportunity to level up. We've got more trucks coming in. We've got plenty going on up here. Quite a lot of food to San Antonio, which is kind of surprising, but that's good. That's what we're looking for. We're going to be bringing the food back down to Miramar as well. So across the board, transportation is hopefully, let's see. So yeah, you drop a bunch of that off. This continues to climb a little bit. We've got hopefully, yeah, plenty more trucks in the way in. So yeah, this alcohol distillery in no time at all should be leveling up. And as it starts to level up, we do have these orange trucks coming in here. They're going to be picking up food for San Antonio and Thousand Oaks, which is absolutely fantastic news. So that's going to be some money coming in from those guys as well. And then with the distillery leveled up, we can now produce up to 200, which is very exciting. We can ship out 200. We can transport more. So does that mean that you are going to be trying to level up as well? You absolutely are. So the farm's going to be doing really well for us. That farm is going to be pretty busy, which I'm very excited about. Very much looking forward to getting all that going. Very much looking forward to getting more trucks down here to pick up this alcohol and start shipping that out as well. That's good. That's very, very good. Now, consumers wise, we are going to need this guy to level up as well. That is going to be the tricky part. Although we are starting to see deliveries from this as well. So this might actually get there, especially since we're delivering to San Antonio at the moment. So there's every possibility, to be quite honest, that we'll do okay there. We've got 73 demand in Miramar, 62 in Thousand Oaks, 54 in San Antonio. So that's honestly not too bad. We might actually want to, where the hell am I? Here we are. We might actually want to look into making sure that these lines are all set up properly. So San Antonio is 59. It's demanding 55. That's okay. Thousand Oaks is 50, demanding 64. So let me manage the vehicles. Let me put one more on there just to make sure that it's going to be all right. 62, 65. You know what? Give me two more just to make sure that we're kind of future-proofing this thing. It did shoot up to 73 there, but you know what? We'll do 100 and something anyway. We'll properly future-proof this thing. And then for you, similar story. We'll just duplicate it. We will future-proof both of those lines so that they're completely solid. We're now shipping everything out from here. So this guy's hopefully going to move towards leveling up. The alcohol distillery, similar story. Hopefully going to move towards leveling up at some point. And I realize that's a bit impatient of me. It did just level up, but I wanted to keep going, really. That's kind of where I'm at. So hopefully we can do that. Like I said, the farm is super close to leveling up, and I'm curious to see, I have to imagine it will go to 600 on the production. It absolutely does. That is beautiful. Okay. So what that says to me is that this line now needs to be able to move 600 grain. So give me two more trucks. We'll bring that 493 up to 589. Give me one more, and that'll bring us to 638, which is absolutely perfect. So now we're going to have a lot of grain is going to be going into this place at some point soon. Production should get up there quite nicely. Shipment will get there eventually, and transport will get there as well. So we'll have some leveling up across the board. I think realistically, we just need this guy to level up first, and it's getting there. It is just the transport that we're going to be waiting on, which is completely fine. Oh, now I was a little bit worried this was going to happen. Miramar is demanding more food than we seem to be able to ship back, which is a bit of a problem. We also don't have the greatest rate when it comes to this line in general. So let me go and have a look. Let me keep you pinned so I can see what's going on there. Let me keep this line pinned as well. And let me look at you. So your production right now is 180, which is higher than the rate. The production can go up to 200 though. So we're going to manage the vehicles, and we're going to put 2 more vehicles in that line, which will hopefully bring the rate up to 200, 194. You know what? Give me 3 more. We'll round this out at 25 vehicles, slightly future-proofing things. Doesn't need to be that way, but it's what we're going to do. So 221 solid. That's going to be a whole lot of things heading out. We've also got deliveries being made, so we're starting to see the transport go up a little bit there. And then the shipment is essentially, I guess, how our consumers are processing things. So really, we do need the food processing plant to level up to consume more for us to then be able to fulfill the shipment duties of the alcohol distillery, which is completely fine. It's, you know, it's just how things work. We already know that. So really, we are kind of waiting for the what do you call it? The Miramar line to come in here and start picking things up, and then start delivering it out, start getting it down to Miramar itself, and we'll be solid. So I think with that said, we should probably go ahead and leave it there for today, because I'm rambling on a little bit. We've got some waiting to do, which I'm fine to do. That's just kind of how things are. It's gonna get there. I did change this out, by the way. I've changed the little stop here. We don't use Wilson Street. We now use Miramar Sidings, because a whole line of trucks stopping in this road. It was not very good. I'm also thinking we should try out these new buses just while we're here. This is the last thing I'm going to do. I'm not wanting to, you know, spend forever doing this, but I want to just get a look at the new buses. Oh, look at you. This is my second favorite aesthetic. I love the chrome, but this very like late 50s kind of 60s vibe where like the windows are all rounded. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so good. It's the Jetsons, basically. This is the era that made the Jetsons. I think that was the 60s, right? I don't know when the Jetsons were a thing, but that was sort of when that like retro futuristic thing started. I don't know. I love that aesthetic as well. Okay, I couldn't think of a better way to wrap things up than by seeing this thing level up a little bit, which is fantastic news. Hopefully production is going to shoot up with this thing a little bit further so we can start providing food to more of these towns, but that should now give the A-OK for this guy. Yeah, there we go. So this alcohol distillery is going to continue to level up, which is absolutely fantastic. We'll see more stuff going out of here, and we really need to do something about this. We have almost 400 people waiting to get out of this airport. That is ridiculous. I don't necessarily... Do I want more? I'm going to have to get more planes. I'm going to have to double the number of planes that we have here, because we just have that many people that are waiting to get out of here. That's a whole thing. It's a whole thing is what it is. Let's head down to Salem. I want to see how it's doing in terms of numbers. It's also busy. Miramar is kind of the hot place to be right now, but I'm okay with that. Salem itself is heading for 3,000 people. A lot of that is, you know, 240% coming in from the destination connections now. That's wild. That's ridiculous. I really should have done planes a lot sooner, I think. Something tells me I should have done planes a little bit sooner. That's ridiculous. Good Lord. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to leave it there for today, because I'm getting a little bit carried away again. And, yeah, if you've been watching the Software Inc. stuff, you're going to probably be aware that this is pre-recorded, and it's not good when you're pre-recording hour-plus long videos, because the time it takes to pre-record everything is a whole lot longer. And so the window of time between when I get done pre-recording and when I actually get to go on my vacation gets smaller and smaller. Ideally, there's still like a week until I go at the time I'm recording this. Ideally, I'm going to be done pre-recording a couple of days before I go. If I keep doing these hour-plus episodes of Transport Fever and Software Inc. and all that stuff, I'm going to be recording up until I get in the cab to go to the airport. And I really hope that's not the case. So yeah, that's the next episode might be 5 minutes long. It won't be. It'd be nice if it was. It just won't be. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. Do I want to sit here and watch this thing level up? No, I don't. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. It's so close to leveling up. I think I can stall long enough until it does. I'm pretty sure I can do it. Come on, just level already. There we go. All right. That's going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.